Hi, in this video, I'm going to walk you through some basics for using EBSCO, as well as looking at the difference between finding sources there as opposed to an online database, as opposed to just Google in general. So here I am at the college's website. You can see the address right there. I'm going to go up to academics and then down to library. And then I'm going to scroll down. Now you do have this place right here that you can search, but I want to show you down here where it says research databases. These are all of the databases that we subscribe to for colleges. So again, this might give you something more. We're going to click EBSCO right there, and we're going to get to the general EBSCO search. Now this is your basic search. You can go up to advanced search and actually add more filters to get better results. Like you only want full text. Doesn't help if you're getting back a source that only gives you the abstract or just a small bit of it. So saying full text is important. You may be required to only use scholarly peer-reviewed journals. So if so, then you would click that. You don't have to do that for this source speech, just as or essay, whatever class you're in. You just have to use sources that meet credibility tests. You may need something that's only been published within a certain amount of time. I always like to limit it to about the past 5 years at first so that I get the most update research. You may have an author or a particular title you're using. Obviously, we want to make sure that it comes back in English if we don't speak other languages. So that's giving me those things. So now I'm going to start my search. So I can say, let's say I want to do campus tutoring at night, because maybe my argument that I'm trying to research is about why should the college offer more tutoring at night for students. So I'm going to hit search. And then I have found 795 articles. Now that doesn't mean they're all going to be useful. That's then the next part is going through and actually looking at what they're saying. So here is, I can look at the title here. I can look at the abstract that kind of gives me a glimpse of what this is about. And start finding sources. And when I do, let's say I want this one, I can click it, I can download it. It says access options, so I see I have a PDF and it's online full text. I always want the PDF version if I have to. Online just means it's in HTML and that doesn't have any pictures or formatting or anything else. If there's a PDF option, then that's what I want. And I can click that and it's going to show me this article right here. So that's how you do EBSCO research. Now, another thing you can do is look at this toolbar up here. I can save this item, so if I'm not sure if I want it, I can log in and create a free student account and save it, or again, I can download it. I can add it to a project, I can print it. I can also hit cite. And then what's going to happen is I can click and I can choose what citation format I need. So for my classes, we always use MLA, and it's going to actually give me the works cited entry for it. So I can copy this and paste this into my Word document. I still need to double check that it doesn't have any errors. So like right here, this is a scholarly resource. I don't use months in scholarly resources that have volume and number. So, I'd want to take out January, but everything else is correct. So I want to do that, and then I have my MLA. So let's look though and compare what happens when we just search Google. So I'm going to actually first go to Google Scholar. You can see here, and then I have another video. This one right here. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. I have another video that you should see in the class about how to use Google to research. So that's a little bit long. This is again just a very, very short one. So I'm going to put higher ed campus tutoring at night. And then I'm going to see, I can over here, I can again set the time, like how long. So if I only want it to go from 2016 to 2026, so basically the last 10 years, I can limit it that way. I can sort it by particular ways. But here it is. And some of these might take me to a place that has a paywall that unless I have a subscription to that journal, I can't use it. But if you see a PDF here, you'll see full text, full view. That means that I can actually see it all. So I can click, and it's a PDF, so it's actually going to open the file for me. And there is this entire, you can see it's a newspaper article. And so that's another place that I can find sources. It also is going to give me down here related sources that might be helpful. Maybe a different way to phrase the search question. All right. So now let's look what happens when we just go to Google. So here I'm now going to see just a variety of links. There's one to SSC. There's some here that aren't really academic, like 20 best nighttime tutoring jobs. That wouldn't be relevant. And so again, I get a much broader kind of group of information that's going to be, not better. So maybe I need to add something, why it is important and improves student grades. Yeah, I have some spelling errors, but that's the nice thing about Google. It kind of works. So first of all, Copilot, the AI, is going to give me some ideas here. And you'll see there's a link. That means that this idea comes from this place. So if I click that link, it might take me to the website, or it might open up that source, right? So here is, that sounds like something that actually would probably work. Now, the whole article might not be necessarily just about nighttime tutoring, so I'd only want to look at the stuff that was about, nighttime tutoring. But definitely I can look in here and get some ideas, right? Beyond that, I'm going to see links like, why hasn't tutoring been effective by Education Week? That sounds like a promising source. Right, here's something from the federal government's Department of Education. Here's something from the University of Cincinnati, why tutoring is important for college students. So I'd want to, again, look at this. Obviously, if tutoring is important, I can use that as part of my persuasive argument about why we need tutoring. But then my point is why we need to offer it at night. So I'm going to have to link it to that other part. But just because this isn't just about nighttime tutoring doesn't mean that I can't still get really important information if it is a good source. So that's what you're going to do when you're trying to find sources, is you're going to use either Google Scholar, you're going to use Google in general, or you can come here to the database and use EBSCO. I find that for most freshman level argument, that EBSCO is about kind of a little bit difficult, because sometimes it only gives back those academic articles that are written for people in the field, which can be hard to understand. Using just plain sources from Google in general, if you again apply the test that I've given you about identifying credible sources, that's probably going to actually be a little bit better for you, and still find really good sources, but they're not necessarily written for, academics, and using jargon and language that would be difficult for someone without a degree or a lot of experience to understand. So I hope this helps you understand how to use 3 different ways to find sources. And as always, email me or ask me for help if you're stumped. Bye-bye.